Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining me today. As always, like, share, subscribe, do the YouTube, do the algorithm, and also do me another favor and check out TucsonCoinShow.com. Hope to see you in January at the Tucson Coin Show. Annex will be there with some type of special deal for you for submissions for anyone who wants to submit directly to Annex. Also, we will have Annex slabs, sample slabs for the show. Those will be given out on Friday morning. We're working on a couple other sample slabs at this time. All right, today's commentary, and question is something that we're getting a lot of questions about, with gold rocketing over $3,600, $3,700 an ounce after sitting at 1,800, 18 months ago, not that long ago. What are we supposed to do as collectors, right? And everything is turning into scrap gold, and how do we navigate this as collectors? And so I have a couple of just kind of quick pointers to talk about, and maybe you guys have some suggestions as well. For some of you, you already collect gold coins and you're trying to figure out, how do I navigate what I buy next? What happens if gold comes right back down to where it was? And maybe not that 1,500 range, but what if it drops $1,000 after it's come up $1,000 in the matter of months, right? So there's a few basic strategies here. The concept is really kind of simple, but then we'll put a little bit of application into it as well. The concept is basically, first and foremost, if you're still purchasing, look for anything where the numismatic value has maintained or exceeded, continued to be higher than the gold content, right? So this is going to be, as an example, for US coin collectors, you're looking at things like, of course, your smaller little gold cammems, your $1, $2.50 gold pieces, your early gold cammems, where those coins, the collector value has exceeded, continues to exceed the current gold spot price. And maybe a $50 gold piece for some of you, right? The octagonal, there you go. The gold prices haven't moved that at all. So for US coin collectors, there's a few things that are really kind of obvious that are out there. Also, if you're collecting any type of, Carson City gold coins, $3 gold coins, there's lots of stuff that still exceeds the gold price. For world gold collectors, it's a little bit of a different market, but the concept remains the same. If you've got something that has been higher than and continues to be higher than the gold price, then obviously that's a good buy for you in this marketplace currently. But the question that people keep kind of coming back to is, okay, well, if I'm buying $10 and $20 gold pieces and $5 gold pieces, what's kind of the best tactic or strategy? Well, for people who are just buying bullion, you're just going to purchase whatever's in front of you, right? You don't care as much about what you're getting because it's just for the gold content. But I would tell you that it's a good chance, there's a good opportunity here for you to maybe be a little bit selective when you look at the things that you purchase. So this is speaking, of course, to anyone who is just buying gold, but you have a chance to buy something with a little bit of a numismatic edge in case gold comes back down. And also for any of you who that's actually your main concern, like, I want to be able to buy stuff. So what I'm talking about right now is, how do you kind of like cherry pick the items that are coming through, right? That your local coin shop may have. So for when it comes to generic items, you can go ahead and look at like a generic $20 gold piece. See if you can hold out for a mint state 65 type coin. Something that really, with gold at these levels, everything is just kind of worth its gold content. Maybe the dealer wants $100 extra for it being an MS65 versus a 63 or what have you. But I think, given the opportunity and the price points, that extra $100 I think is money well spent for something that, if, say, gold goes back down, there's a chance that the higher mint state coins will maintain. So looking at that, looking at the price point on those over the historical past is something I would consider buying. Also, if you're buying gold in general, I would focus on $5 and $10 Indians, especially certified coins, where you can find coins with very small premiums on them. That's something that I would also target. So if you're going to go $20 gold pieces, go high mint state. If you are looking at $5 and $10 gold pieces, focus on the Indian designs. I think both of those coins are at relatively small premiums over where they can be at. So if gold pulls back down, you have a chance of some of those coins maintaining the value. The historical average is what I want to talk about next, which is going to be something that you say, well, Ben, how do I find out what things used to be worth? When I look something up online, everything is just giving me the gold value. If I'm using any website, whatever it is, it's just saying, here's the gold value. Well, the good news is you probably know how to figure out the gold value. If you don't know how to figure out the gold value, usually you use something that's called the actual gold weight, which is just telling you how much gold is in a coin. So for shorthand, on like a $10 gold piece, it's 0.48. There's actually a little more numerics after that, but just 0.48, so just under half an ounce. So if you take the current spot price, you multiply it by 0.48. What's the spot price? That's the current market price for gold on the New York Stock Exchange. So if gold is 3,700 times 0.48, a $10 gold piece is going to have gold content of $1,776 in it currently, okay? So how do you find out historical averages? Well, do you have a red book that is dated like possibly 2025? I happen to have a 2024 here, but really 2025 would have been printed in 24, and that's probably going to work for what this next project is. Or you can even buy, I have a gray sheet from January of this year, of 2025, and this will work just as well. So what I can do with this is go ahead and start looking down the line at all the different dates, and anything that is already above 1776, anything that's above about $1,800, I can already go through here and start marking as what that threshold is. And on some of these coins that are common dates, you're getting over into the mint state quality, but then you start looking at some of these coins that in lower grade are going to be above that $1,800 level, that 1776, $1,800 level. And you can start to map out, if you want to, just kind of where the purchase points are. You can't even hardly see that because but you start to understand, okay, well, basically at this point, I'm starting to look into mint state coins that are a little bit tougher to find. And the other coins that are pretty ubiquitous here in this $10 gold series are going to be those Carson City coins. So you can actually look back and see what things used to be worth. And if you look on eBay, you can usually find an old gray sheet for pretty inexpensive. But this one's from January, and it's probably just as good as anything else. You can do the same thing with your old red book. The red book price guide, of course, is not going to be as precise, but at the same point, it's actually really easy to read because almost all of the price points in one grade are the same, and the next grade are the same. So you understand already that some of these coins aren't really that scarce or rare or collected because they just have kind of like a holding place of value based on grade. But it really makes it obvious with current gold prices, anytime you can find something that is going to be a higher point than that 1800 level. So that's kind of the concept that you'd be working with moving forward buying gold coins. If you want to find something that has a little bit of a buffer, if you will, when and if gold comes down from where it is at today, I would kind of look at it that way. Look for anything that has a historical value, a current value that's still higher than gold, of course, but also anything with that historical value previously. If you can buy it and you see that you're buying a coin that was already kind of sort of worth that amount when gold was $2,000 instead of $3,700, well, that's kind of what you're looking for. Same concept applies to the world coin market. It might be harder for you if you're not into world coins, obviously, to know what that is, but just be more selective if you go to your local coin shop and you always see British sovereigns and certain things that are there all the time. Maybe you see something that's a little bit more interesting or different that you've never seen before. You might as well take a flyer on something that looks cool and is different at melt versus something that you see all the time. So be selective. Educate yourself a little bit more if you need to. Ask questions at your local coin shop. And as always, trust your gut a little bit. But also, there's lots of other people out there to lean on. Don't try to do it all by yourself. In the meantime, happy hunting, everybody, in this easy to navigate gold market. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.